You just nod whenever you're ready. Parliamentarians. My fellow senators, I will graduate before I let this NFL Congress and the future leaders of America pass a piece of legislation like this that is so disrespectful to people like me and Senator Sanka. They legally immigrated to the United States and went and respected the process the United States put in place for immigrants to gain citizenship. My fellow senators, it's because this piece of legislation is ultimately disrespectful. It's ultimately more harmful than beneficial. That today, I urge you to negate this piece of legislation and instead go for the best possible alternative that is the most fair. But it's not what Senator Clark and Senator Wiss talked about with the DREAM Act, because it still sets special treatment for both legal immigrants instead of legal immigrants. Today, we need to pass a sort of policy that is the same across the board for both legal and illegal immigrants. Thus, I urge you to negate. First, let's look at something very special. In the same way Senator Farrell can pull out books from his Mary Poppins bag, this Senate as a whole can use many more policy tools that are in our government's toolkit, such as enforcing strict regulations requiring all immigrants, legal or illegal, to serve in the military for 7 years if they want to gain a rightful path to citizenship. First, let's look at the benefits of this. According to the U.S. Department of Defense, on a comment on New York Times on December 2011, only 25% of young Americans qualify for the military, and the Army supports non-permanent residents to fill in the gaps. Senator Gonzalez, you brought in the cost of Social Security that immigrants cost the United States, and that is true. But if we require these immigrants to fill in the gaps in our military, we'll ultimately be able to save, according to the Government Accountability Office, $35 billion that as of right now are required for the United States to pay for additional forces in areas of instability and to uphold our alliances. My fellow senators, let's look at why we do not have to pass this piece of legislation, but instead require all immigrants to join the Army. Not like the DREAM Act, but go one step further. And instead, allowing for one of the best processes to naturalize an immigrant. Require them to come into the military. You know that it can integrate with one of the most fundamental services that somebody has to do to their own country. If they truly respect the United States, then they have to protect the United States from foreign enemies and pursue their foreign policy. This, by requiring illegal immigrants to join our military, we'll be able to uphold military readiness. And this will lead to many benefits, one of which is strategic balance. The Heritage Foundation, as well as the Royal Institute for Economic Policy Studies, points out that the readiness of the United States presence signals U.S. supremacy and deters conflict because the military presence disincentivizes aggressive responses in the nearby countries. My fellow senators, if we don't pass this piece of legislation and instead create a new radical change of immigration policy that will ultimately benefit the United States military, we'll have many more benefits as a whole. First, it will deter immigration. Obviously, not many illegal immigrants will come to the United States if they have to serve in the military and risk to die. And it's fair for all immigrants. And lastly, we'll solve all of our military problems. We cannot look to this piece of legislation. Thus, I urge you to negate.
Time of speech is 3 minutes, 8 seconds. Questioners rise. Mr. Weinstein, Mr. Agarwal, and Mr. Page.
Senator Conoco, did your family have to serve in the military to come here legally?
Absolutely not, but I totally would do it. I had to leave my dad to come here to the United States. Why? Because the legal process is so slow. And I totally agree, we have to make it more efficient. But I will graduate before I let illegal immigrants come here much more easily without sacrificing anything, instead this being unfair to the legal immigrants.
Thank you.
Now, Senator Canonico, you proposed that we should allow illegal immigrants to serve in the military, but doesn't their allegiance to their home countries possibly jeopardize the success of military operations?
No, in the same, if we want to become an American citizens, we can make special provisions with foreign countries that if they want to leave the foreign country and serve in the United States military, then they can become citizens.
Thank you, Senator. How can you say that illegal immigrants have sacrificed nothing when they've been here for years illegally, being paid less than minimum wage and often subject to poor working conditions without their families?
They willfully engage in the choice to disrespect the United States Constitution, the United States rights that are given to all the people, and they disrespected the legal system this country is founded upon. I'm not going to tolerate illegal immigrants getting citizenship at the price of legal immigrants suffering from unfairness.
Thank you, Senator Canonico. You can sit